This is not my car. This belongs to Craig Drescher. We've just watched him win the two-wheel drive final, and this is the four-wheel drive RC10, which is going to be running tomorrow. It's absolutely beautiful.
What's going on here? What's going on? Tell us a bit about it. I mean, what's the deal?
So, sex on wheels is all I can really say about this thing. It's box art design, super sexy, looks amazing on track, and went surprisingly well in practice. So really, really happy with it. So we'll see what tomorrow brings when we start to race it in anger. It's in a slightly younger age group than it should be, so the challenge is going to be tough, but we've only done a couple of runs with it, still a few things to iron out, but really good fun. Nice to see it kind of go and drive as well as it did. I was surprised, to be honest. So yeah,
very, very nice. So you've not raced it?
Not raced it. I did 2 shakedown runs on Friday during the practice sessions and stuff, so but yeah, I didn't change it from one run to the next, just went out and run it, and it was good. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and I think it caused a lot of interest.
I was going to say a lot of interest. Now, we have mentioned this car on the channel. I might have mentioned it, and I got a few boos. Now, can you talk us through the origins of this car and how it come about?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's one of them mystical designs that kind of, yes, I think. So obviously we did have a four-wheel drive. It was chain driven. It was a little bit different to this. There's been other versions that have been done and were going on at the same sort of time. So obviously Eustace had the MIP Legend, and then since then the 410's come out as well. So there's a little bit of everything in it. They've tried to incorporate some modern things so you can actually race it in today's kind of like riggers, you know, with the higher tractions, and the ball cups and things have been all improved. You know, we've had issues with the ball cups ever since the conception of the RC10, popping off, fit, tight, all that kind of stuff. So they've addressed that issue now. Controversially, they've put some four-wheel drive caster blocks and steering hubs on it, which has caused a little bit of melee, but I understand the reason why they've done it. You know, they could have redesigned the whole thing and had it open-faced, which would have made no difference, but to the performance, in my opinion, it's just that they decided to go with this option, which has been met with some controversy from a few people. So yeah, they decided to try and make a platform that was kind of usable, really. So it doesn't sit in any of the categories where it should do anyway, because we never had it. So stealth gearbox, long arms. So they've kind of just like added a modern twist to it. You know, it's still got the looks and the authenticity.
I mean, aesthetically, it's an amazing, and
yeah.
And from what you're saying, it drives really well and handles really well. It'll be interesting to see, because I know that John Weston and the team are still umming and ahhing about where it's going to fit in the iconic and the revival events. So it'll be interesting to see these on the track and where they do fit into what is an amazing scene in the UK at the moment, the vintage scene.
Yeah, it's buzzing. It's kind of the golden era of RC, and I think everybody's kind of really relishing in the fact that there's actually new stuff coming. I think it's actually good. You know, some people say it's not what it was, but you know, innovations, new designs, you know, new mouldings for other cars and plastic. I think it's good. You know, there's a place for all of them. You know, a traditional, authentic re-release car or an original car, there's a place for that. If everybody wants to run it box stock, you know, and then there's places for, you know, the other cars, the modified cars and the parts and bits and pieces that make a old car drive better.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, Popalong RC is all about getting more people racing cars. It doesn't really matter what you're racing, as long as you're racing your cars at the end of the day.
There's a few people get bent out of shape about the rules and the regulations and stuff like that, but I'm like you know, if it gets people at the track, does it really matter if something's 1 millimetre longer or 1 millimetre higher, or, you know, it's just, but it is what it is, I get it. So the idea with this, actually, and speaking to a few people, was to try and run a kind of like box stock class. So
box stock classes they always go so well, don't they? Everyone loves to stick to a box stock.
I know it's kind of
class.
like, you know, what you call the American version. I get where you're coming from there. So yeah, absolutely. Like, my car's a box stock, but no, this is. So actually, this is as close as I can get it to box stock. I've had to put a brace in just for like kind of stiffen the little flex a little bit, but if I mean, like, I'll show you. So, it's you know, I put this brace on, but to be honest, it's made naff all difference.
Alright.
So I bumped the battery to the side because the battery terminal, I wanted to run everything in line like we do with the RC10, but the battery connector was under the belt.
Got you on.
So I couldn't really do that.
Because when we had a quick look at this earlier on, I did wonder whether, because I've seen a few cars where they're actually, because of the batteries are a bit lighter, they're pushing them over to sort of count the weight of the motor as well.
So when I was laying all this up and trying to fiddle around with putting electronics in, it's the battery terminal was under the belt, so I thought, what can I do? And then I shifted it across. I thought, just check the balance by just putting a screwdriver in there under the front, and it was really heavy on the left-hand side. So that's why I just shifted that out a little bit more and still utilised the holes on the outside for at least one hole of the battery cradle, and then I had to drill another one. So I've had to fudge it a little bit to put one of these on there, but you know, it's pretty authentically original. You know, there's no real kind of changes to it at the moment. So what we were hoping is that we could run this as a base kit running car. We'd restrict the speeds a little bit, and we'd have a heat or two heats of pretty much the same car. You know, you can change front spring between a couple, you can change rear spring between a couple. We'd agree on a tyre to run 10.5 limit, maybe even in blinky mode.
Yeah.
And then we're all running the same. Stick with a kit body. I just go for it from there. So
because I know last year at the revival event, obviously they had the Racer Champions, where they were using the team associated RB10.
Yes.
That everyone was running, same car, same electrics.
Yeah.
And it made for some interesting racing, but again,
it didn't quite work out.
Quite worked out.
I think the cars, unfortunately, were a little bit unrace tuned, so the servos were a little bit slow. You know, the cars work perfectly well.
Yeah, we've raced them a lot on the channel, and I think I still stand by. It's a great get people into racing RC car.
I drove a friend of mine that had like full like proper race electronics in it with a good handset, and the car was amazing. So not that you need to go to that extent, but I think some people struggled with the delay on the radios, and we had to use some other oddball radios so we could have a mix of wheel and sticks.
Yeah, and again, the servo in it, they're probably used to running on a lot quicker servos.
And they upgraded the servo, but it was still on the slow side. So had they kind of changed that, then the concept's good, the idea's good.
And again, this is where it comes down to that whole box stock racing and why it is such a challenge, because it doesn't suit everybody's mindset.
If the cars work well out of the box, then you will run them. But you're always searching for speed and better
you always want to get that little bit extra.
That's just the racer in you. You can't help it. So it's natural when you're racing that you want to go faster. And then of course, but if we restrict what we can do, it is, you know, turn up, talk to your friends, have a laugh. You're out on the track, bashing wheels, going the same speed, and hopefully, you know, it'll bring some kind of fun element back to it and take some of that stress out of, I want to be the top racer, I want to win the race, just like I wanted to win today. And
you did in two-wheel drive.
He's
got to go get his trophy, hasn't he? But thanks for sharing this with us today. Hopefully we'll see you trackside again soon.
Definitely.
And have you got any big competitions planned for this year?
No, my next one will be Revival, so where I'm actually racing. So I'll be doing the BMR Revival, Oswestry Revival, and then possibly some of the Jingle Bells and bits and pieces in between.
Well, we will see you at Oswestry. Maybe, if we ask nicely, you might let us do a lap if you can.
Of course, I've got no problem with that at all. So, and also you guys should get yourself to Vegas.
Vegas?
Yeah. For the
is that the Snowbirds?
No. It's the Associated Challenge. It's in October.
Right.
In Vegas. Get yourselves save your pennies. Get yourselves over there. That'll be a fun race. I think Francis, Pavidas, Masami, Cliff. They've already kind of signed up and they'll be going. Jamming J Halsey. So it will be a good Legends meet.
We've been invited to a Legends meet, guys.
On a dirt track in an arena hall.
Oh, it sounded good. Okay. We got to start saving. You guys, please subscribe, hit the ding dong bell, send us some money so we can go with them to Vegas. Thank you very much for
Keep
talking
up the good work, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.